Welcome to U.S. Coins History, the channel where we uncover the most valuable and rarest coins in U.S. history. Most unique minting errors. These coins could be worth thousands or even millions of dollars. More than you ever imagined. Now let's find out why. Top 1. Today we're diving into a quarter that's a little more special than you might think. The 1971 United States quarter dollar. You might be wondering, what's so special about a coin from 1971? Well, sit tight because you're about to discover that this quarter could be worth far more than you ever imagined. The 1971 quarter is part of the long-standing series featuring George Washington on the obverse side, a design that has become a staple of U.S. currency. But what truly sets this coin apart isn't just the well-known portrait of Washington. To understand why the 1971 quarter hold a unique place in the numismatic world, we need to explore its history, rarity, and some of the hidden features that make it highly desirable to collectors. Now, you might be thinking, isn't this just another ordinary coin from the 1970s? While it's true that millions of these quarters were minted and circulated, that's precisely what makes well-preserved 1971 quarters so valuable. As the years have gone by, most of these coins have been through the ringer, spent, worn down, and subject to the everyday wear and tear circulation. That means finding one in excellent, uncirculated condition is becoming increasingly rare. In fact, it's this rarity that drives up the value of these coins. The fewer 1971 quarters in pristine condition, the more valuable they become to collectors who are always on the lookout for high-quality examples. But here's the exciting part. It's not just the condition that makes the 1971 quarter worth serious money. It's also the minting errors. Yes, error coins are some of the most sought after in the coin collecting world, and the 1971 quarter has its share of these rare and intriguing mistakes. Minting errors happen when a coin is struck improperly during production, and while some errors might seem minor to the untrained eye, they can add massive value to a coin point. One of the most notable errors for the 1971 quarter is the double die variety. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice, causing a slight overlap or doubling effect in the design. In the case of a 1971 quarter, this doubling is most often visible in the lettering, especially in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. To a casual observer, this might not seem like much, but to an experienced collector, it's a goldmine. Double die errors are rare and highly prized, and if you happen to find a 1971 quarter with this unique feature, you could be looking at a coin worth far more than its 25-cent face value. Another error that collectors are eager to find is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing part of the design to shift off-center. An off-center 1971 quarter can have a strikingly different appearance, with parts of the design, like Washington's face or the lettering, appearing closer to the edge of the coin or even cut off entirely. These offset or strike coins are incredibly valuable because they are one-of-a-kind pieces, making them highly sought after by collectors who are eager to add something rare and unique to their collection. Beyond minting errors, there are also special editions of the 1971 quarter that can boost its value. For example, coins from specific mint locations, like the San Francisco Mint, were produced in limited numbers and often have a slightly different finish compared to regular quarters. Coins produced in proof sets or special mint sets for collectors are also more valuable than those intended for circulation. These higher quality coins are often in pristine condition, making them more desirable and worth much more than their face value. So, what makes a 1971 quarter truly valuable? It's a combination of factors. If you find one that's been kept in excellent condition, untouched by the wear of circulation, it's already worth more than its face value. But if you've got one of the rare error varieties, such as a double die or off-center strike, then your coin could be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. Error coins are the holy grail for collectors, and the more unique the mistake, the higher the value. Now, here's the part you've been waiting for, the value reveal. If you have a 1971 quarter that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if it happens to be one of those rare error coins, then it could be worth a jaw-dropping $67,000. That's right, $67,000 for a single 1971 quarter. It might sound unbelievable, But the world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and this particular coin is proof that something as small as a quarter can hold incredible value. So, before you go spending your quarters, take a moment to check your collection or sift through your spare change. That ordinary-looking 1971 quarter might just be hiding a rare error or in perfect condition, making it worth a small fortune. As we always say in the world of coin collecting, it's all about rarity, condition, and those unique features that set a coin apart from the rest. Top 2. We're diving into a coin that you may not have expected to be so valuable. But trust us, this one is a hidden gem. We're talking about the 1978 United States quarter dollar. Now, before you brush this off as just another coin from the 70s, let us take you on a journey to discover the unique features that could make this quarter worth a small fortune. Whether you're an experienced numismatist or just starting out, this is one video you won't want to miss. Let's start with the basics. The 1978 quarter, like all other U.S. quarters, features the classic portrait of George Washington on the obverse side. This design has been a staple of American currency for decades, and while it's instantly recognizable, it's the backstory and the features that make the 1978 version stand out from the rest. During the late 70s, the U.S. Mint was producing coins in large quantities to keep up with the demands of circulation. But as we know in the world of coin collecting, quantity doesn't always translate into value. What really drives the worth of a coin is its rarity, condition, and, in some cases, the unique errors it may contain. SOY is the 1978 quarter special. While it may have been produced in large numbers, very few have survived in pristine condition, especially given how many of these coins were circulated. If you happen to find a 1978 quarter that has been kept in excellent, uncirculated condition, you're looking at a coin that could fetch a significant price in the collector's market. The beauty of coin collecting is that the condition of a coin plays such a large role in determining its value. The less wear and tear, the more valuable it becomes. That's why high-grade examples of the 1978 quarter, especially those that haven't been in circulation, are becoming harder to find and more valuable to collectors. But wait, there's more. As any seasoned coin collector will tell you, the true treasure often lies in the errors. Yes, minting errors can turn an otherwise ordinary coin into something extraordinary. And the 1978 quarter has a few exciting errors that make it a standout piece in the world of coin collecting. One of the most coveted errors found on this quarter is known as the double die variety. This happens when the coin is struck twice, resulting in a slight duplication or doubling of the design. You might notice this doubling effect in the lettering or in Washington's portrait, and it's a sign that the coin was struck improperly during the minting process. A double die error is a collector's dream, and the rarer the error, the more valuable the coin. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift off-center. The result is a coin with a misaligned design, which can make it look quite unique. Off-center strikes are particularly appealing to collectors because they're one of a kind, and finding one from 1978 is an exciting discovery. If you happen to come across an off-center 1978 quarter, you've got yourself a coin that could be worth far more than its face value. But minting errors aren't the only thing that can make the 1978 quarter valuable. Coins from certain mints or special sets can also drive up the price. For example, proof sets and special mint sets that were produced for collectors often contain coins that are of higher quality, with sharp details and mirror-like finishes. These coins are intended for collectors and are not meant for general circulation, making them rarer and more desirable. So, what's the value of the 1978 quarter? If you happen to have a standard, circulated coin, it's still worth its face value of 25 cents. However, if you're lucky enough to find a well-preserved, uncirculated 1978 quarter, or better yet, a rare error coin, such as a double die or off-center strike, you could be in for a surprise. Error coins, especially those with unique and striking characteristics, can fetch thousands of dollars at auction. And if you're one of the lucky collectors to own an exceptionally rare and well-preserved example of the 1978 quarter, it could be worth as much as $60,000. That's right, you could have a quarter worth $60,000, just sitting in your collection, or perhaps even buried in your spare change. The coin collecting world is full of hidden treasures, and sometimes the most unassuming coins hold the most value. It's all about knowing what to look for and understanding the rare features that make certain coins stand out from the rest. Before you go and spend those 1978 quarters, take a closer look. Inspect the condition, check for any unique errors or features, and see if you might have one of these valuable, rare coins on your hands. If you find a double die error or an off-center strike, you could be holding onto a coin worth far more than you ever thought possible. Top 3. We're about to dive into one of the most fascinating coins in American currency history, the 1988 United States quarter dollar. Now, you might think, what's so special about a quarter from 1988? You'd be surprised. Stick with us, and by the end of this video, you might just be checking your pocket change a little differently at first glance. The 1988 quarter might seem like any other quarter in circulation, but let's dig a little deeper and uncover why this particular coin has gained significant attention in the world of coin collecting. The design on the 1988 quarter is part of the ongoing series featuring George Washington, a design that has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage for years. This simple yet iconic image of Washington is familiar to all of us, but it's the condition and unique characteristics of certain 1988 quarters that make them so highly sought after. Now, why should you care about a 1988 quarter? The truth is, this coin, like many others, was minted in large quantities, and over time, most of them have been worn down due to circulation. So, what sets a valuable 1988 quarter apart? It all comes down to its rarity and condition. As time goes on, well-preserved examples of this coin are becoming harder and harder to find. Most of the 1988 quarters in circulation are either worn, scratched, or have lost much of their luster. But for a dedicated collector, a quarter that has been carefully preserved in pristine condition can be worth far more than its original face value of 25 cents. But the real magic happens when we start talking about errors. Minting errors are one of the most exciting things to look for in the world of coin collecting, and the 1988 quarter is no exception. You may be wondering, what kind of errors are we talking about? Well, the 1988 quarter has been known to have a few notable mistakes that make it highly desirable to collectors. One of the most exciting errors you could find on a 1988 quarter is the double die variety. This occurs when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, causing parts of the design to appear slightly doubled. This error is most commonly seen in the inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust. For collectors, finding a double die error is like striking gold, and if you happen to come across one of these rare varieties, you could be holding on to a real treasure. Another error to watch out for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift off-center. The result is a unique-looking quarter, with parts of the design either partially cut off or shifted to one side. Off-center strikes are incredibly rare and highly coveted by collectors because each one is unique. If you come across a 1988 quarter with an off-center strike, you're in for a serious find. But it's not just about minting errors. Some 1988 quarters were produced in specific sets or at certain mints that make them even more valuable. For example, certain proof sets were issued for collectors, and these coins have a higher quality finish with sharp details and a mirror-like surface. These proof coins are much rarer than those in general circulation and are highly prized by collectors. So, now that we know about the different features that make the 1988 quarter unique, let's talk about its value. While a regular, circulated 1988 quarter isn't going to make you a fortune, finding one that's in pristine condition, or even better, a rare error coin, can change everything. Coins with minting errors, especially the double die and off-center strikes, can skyrocket in value. And if you have a well-preserved 1988 quarter from a special set or mint, it could be worth far more than you ever thought possible. And now, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much could a 1988 quarter be worth? If you've got an uncirculated, error-free 1988 quarter, it's already worth more than its face value. But if you got a rare error coin, such as one with a double die or an off-center strike, you could be holding onto a coin worth as much as $57,000. Yes, you heard that right. $57,000 for a single 1988 quarter. It's amazing how a small mistake in the minting process or a well-preserved coin can lead to such an incredible value. So, before you go spending your 1988 quarters, make sure you take a close look. You might just have a rare treasure on your hands that could be worth far more than you ever imagined. Top 4, we're diving into a fascinating and highly valuable coin that you might not expect to be worth a fortune, the 1974 United States quarter dollar. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. It's just another coin from the 70s, right? But believe me, this coin has some hidden value that could make it worth way more than its face value. Stick around to find out just how valuable this seemingly ordinary quarter can be and what makes it so unique in the world of coin collecting. First, let's take a look at the basics. The 1974 quarter features the iconic design of George Washington on the obverse side, a design that has remained a symbol of American pride for generations. Washington's portrait is instantly recognizable and has graced the quarter since 1932. On the reverse, you'll find the standard eagle perched on an olive branch, a symbol of strength and peace. But what really makes this 1974 quarter stand out is its rarity and condition, which can make it far more valuable than many other quarters from this time. The key to understanding the value of the 1974 quarter lies in its scarcity and how it has held up over time. Like many coins, the 1974 quarter was minted in large quantities, but that doesn't mean they're easy to find in top-notch condition today. Most of the coins from this era have been worn down from years of circulation, losing their sharp details and luster. However, if you're lucky enough to find a 1974 quarter in uncirculated or near-mint condition, you're looking at a coin that could be worth much more than the typical 25-cent price tag. But here's where it gets even more interesting: minting errors. Now, any seasoned coin collector will tell you that a coin with a minting error is worth its weight in gold. Well, maybe not literally, but you get the idea. The 1974 quarter is no exception. Some of these coins were struck with errors that make them highly desirable to collectors, and these errors could dramatically increase a coin's value point. One of the most sought-after types of errors on the 1974 quarter is the double die error. What's a double die error, you ask? This occurs when a coin is struck twice during the minting process, resulting in a noticeable doubling of the design, especially in the inscriptions. So if you have a 1974 quarter with a doubled Liberty or In God We Trust, you could have a rare and valuable coin on your hands. This error is one of the most coveted in the world of coin collecting, and finding one can be like striking gold. But that's not all. Another minting error to look out for on the 1974 quarter is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin is misaligned during the minting process, causing the design to shift off-center. The result? A unique, one-of-a-kind quarter that's highly prized among collectors. Off-center strikes are rare, and their irregular appearance makes them an exciting find for anyone looking to add something special to their collection. The fascinating thing about these error coins is that each one is unique. No two coins will be exactly the same, which is what makes them so valuable and interesting. The more extreme the error, the more likely it is to fetch a high price at auction. So, if you happen to find a 1974 quarter with a double die or an off-center strike, you're looking at a coin that could potentially be worth thousands of dollars. Now, let's not forget the significance of the 1974 year itself. The mid-1970s were a turbulent time in U.S. history, both economically and politically. The U.S. was dealing with inflation, the aftermath of the Vietnam War, and a series of changes in its leadership. Coins minted during this period are part of a unique historical context, and that historical value adds an extra layer of appeal to collectors. Whether you're a history buff or a coin enthusiast, owning a piece of currency from this time period can feel like holding a tangible piece of history. Now, you're probably wondering how much a 1974 quarter can actually be worth. If you have one in average circulated condition, it's worth about 25 cents. However, when you factor in rarity, condition, and potential minting errors, the value can skyrocket. And if you happen to own one of these rare error coins, particularly a 1974 quarter with a double die or off-center strike, you could be sitting on a coin worth $69,000. Yes, you heard that right. $69,000 for a single 1974 quarter. Can you imagine? A coin worth that much, just sitting in your collection or perhaps lying forgotten in your spare change jar. This is the kind of treasure that coin collectors dream of finding. It's the reason why many people are scouring their coin jars and collections right now, hoping they've stumbled upon a valuable 1974 quarter. What should you do next? If you have a 1974 quarter, take a closer look at it. Examine its condition carefully. If it's in great shape, it could already be worth more than you thought. And if you notice any minting errors like a double die or off-center strike, you might just have a rare and valuable piece of American history on your hands. Top 5 and last rare coin. We're diving deep into a small but mighty piece of American history, the 1990 United States quarter dollar. Now, this might sound like just another quarter you'd find in your pocket or change jar, but don't be too quick to judge. Because what if I told you that hiding among those everyday coins could be one worth tens of thousands of dollars? Yes, you heard that right. This isn't just pocket change, it could be life-changing. So grab your magnifying glass, sit back, and get ready to explore what makes the 1990 quarter dollar one of the most talked about coins in the world of rare collectibles. Let's begin with a little background. The United States quarter has always been an iconic part of American currency. Since its first release in 1796, it's gone through many design changes and minting variations. But the 1990 quarter comes from a unique period. The design used that year featured the classic profile of George Washington on the obverse, or front, of the coin. This design had already been in circulation for decades, but here's where it gets interesting. Some 1990 quarters have hidden secrets that make them worth far more than 25 cents. You see, not all coins are created equal, even when they're minted in the same year. While millions of quarters were struck in 1990, a very small number of them contain errors or unusual features that slip past quality control at the U.S. Mint. And for coin collectors, those errors are pure gold point. One of the most talked about rarities among 1990 quarters is the off-center strike error. This happens when the coin blank isn't aligned properly during the minting process, and the design ends up slightly, or sometimes dramatically, off-center. The more dramatic the error, the rarer the coin. If you find one of these, you're looking at something highly collectible. Another prized error involves double dies, where the coin's design appears doubled due to a misalignment in the die during minting. Imagine seeing two outlines of George Washington's profile or overlapping dates. That's the kind of mistake collectors go wild for. Then there's the missing mint mark phenomenon. Most 1990 quarters were minted either in Philadelphia, marked with a P, or Denver, marked with a D. If you come across a quarter from 1990 that's missing this mint mark entirely, don't overlook it. It might be a rare error variant worth examining by a professional, but let's not forget about high-grade specimens. These are coins that have never been used, never exchanged hands, and have been preserved in flawless condition since the day they were minted. Known as mint state, or MS coins, especially those graded MS 67 or higher, they are incredibly desirable in the collector's market. Coins in this condition often look brand new, with no scratches, dings, or discoloration. For a coin that's over 3 decades old, that's extremely rare. Why are collectors so fascinated by coins like the 1990 quarter? It's not just about the money. It's the thrill of the hunt. It's about finding that one-in-a-million coin that no one else noticed. It's history you can hold in your hand. Every scratch, every detail tells a story. Sometimes a story of a minting mistake that turned an ordinary coin into a collector's dream. Now, before we reveal just how much this coin could be worth, let's recap. If you find a 1990 US quarter with a minting error, like an off-center strike, a double die, or a missing mint mark, or if you have one in pristine, uncirculated condition graded by a trusted authority like PCGS or NGC, then you may be holding a piece of true value. And now, for the moment you've been waiting for. Just how much can one of these rare 1990 quarters sell for? While most are worth only face value, an ultra-rare variant in mint condition with a dramatic error or unique flaw can be worth as much as $40,000. That's right. A single quarter, worth just 25 cents at face value, could be worth more than a brand new car, a year of college tuition, or even a down payment on a house. Oh, don't let those coins gather dust in your drawers. Start checking your change. Look carefully at your old coin collections, because hidden in plain sight could be one of the most valuable quarters ever struck in modern history. If you found this video helpful, exciting, or just plain fascinating, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tap that bell so you never miss a coin worth collecting. This is more than just a hobby. It's a chance to discover history, wealth, and wonder all rolled into one tiny coin. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting!